Hey, what's up, folks? Stu Myrick, sports guys talking wrestling. It's another week. It's a pay-per-view week. AEW, Double or Nothing, coming up on Sunday. Adjust from previous AEW pay-per-views that are usually on Saturday. So, hope everybody's doing well. Those of you watching on Twitch and YouTube, welcome. And it's been a very busy several days here in Austin for those of us that cover sports. Starting out with the inaugural NASCAR at COTA weekend, consisting of the Camping World Truck Series Toyota Trucks Tundra 250, or 225, excuse me. Then you had the Xfinity Series with the Pit Boss 250, and then the NASCAR Cup Series with the Echo Park Automotive Texas Grand Prix. They're at Circuit of the Americas, the first ever NASCAR races to run that 3.41 mile, 20-turn track. And for all of you that talks about NASCAR, you know, all they do is turn left. This track, they turn right more than they turn left, just so you know. So it was interesting. It was a wet weekend, to say the least. In fact, the truck race ran. It completed, but it was totally in the rain. I think maybe the last lap the rain may have stopped. The Xfinity Series race was dry, and then the Cup race was wet, and it was called early with, I think it was 15 laps left. Congratulations, Chase Elliott. I think this is now five victories on road courses out of the last 6 road races he has made. Hello, Justin Simmons. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right.
There's like another chair here.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, we've changed a little bit. That's one of the extra chairs I usually use here, but I bought a new little TV tray, so I don't have to use the chair.
He's always got gadgets. Something
Well,
new.
you know, trying to make life a little easier. I was just telling the people about how busy this weekend was with NASCAR at COTA.
Do wrestling fans still stereotypically like NASCAR racing?
I don't know. I wonder. You know, our big question was, would F1 fans like NASCAR? Because, you know, coming to Circuit of the Americas, very recognizable with F1 fans, but never with NASCAR. And by the way, huge thanks to Rodney Rodriguez and Bobby Chaffee for letting me play along with them on Revved Up ATX. Did 2 shows. Saturday, their normal show, then did a special edition on Sunday. We had Mark Garrow from the Performance Racing Network, which broadcasts a lot of the NASCAR races on radio. Rodney was like over the moon. This is a gentleman. It was the first time I met him. Very nice man.
Very.
But apparently he has been broadcasting races almost as long as I've been alive. So
It's very nice that on the remembrance of Owen Hart's death this past week, that you really channeled your inner Owen Hart and was all like, "Yes, me, yes, me." That's how I heard it when you were saying that. It was like, "Me, yes, me,
me,
the King of Hearts."
That's right. No, it was fun.
I'm not a nugget.
No, I'm not a nugget. I am beyond.
Sorry, he was one of my favorites.
He was. But yeah, that was fun. I can now add Speedway Stu to the list of monikers.
Mm.
So, and then yesterday, I was at Q2 Stadium, the home of Austin FC. We got the word 100% capacity starting June 16th for the U.S. Women's National Team exhibition and the home opener, Austin FC in San Jose, I think it was, on June 19th.
Yeah, it's San Jose.
So that's exciting. No doubt hopefully they will have 20,500 fans.
Exciting, but hopefully they'll win between now and then.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be easy.
They've been on a little bit of a losing streak, but hopefully they'll get that corrected. But
You would think that
nevertheless,
the home pitch advantage would help, but we'll see.
right. So yeah, it's been busy. I think the rain has finally stopped. I think we're going to go for some days without rain.
Nah,
Thankfully,
I think like tomorrow it's supposed to rain, and it's
it's
supposed to
like
rain.
a
On,
10% chance.
and it's supposed
though.
to rain on Saturday.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw it was going to be clear.
Nah, it's supposed to rain like the earlier part of Saturday.
Oh well. How you been? How's your week?
Been still busy. Even if I don't have stuff to cover, it's like those shows just take up all my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and haven't figured out a way to make them good. Or
You're talking about the Club Deportes,
yeah,
right?
it's all like it's one thing to put shows together, but it's another thing like it's like we definitely get more viewers here.
Okay. All right. Well, as I said, tonight, previewing Double or Nothing. As we have in the past, one segment is already in the can. Earlier today, I had a chance to visit with our dear friend Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk Monster. And yes, I did get the question in about hot dogs and peanut butter.
Well, I was thinking about it after I told you, and I was like, oh, it should have been I should have like written it from my perspective, like a letter, and then just had you read it because.
That's okay.
Well, no.
I mean, I attributed it to you.
But that's the thing, Stu. Like, it's merely okay as a true perfectionist, like a true artist of any craft, whether it be broadcasting or even like a comedic joke. It's like, I really missed out on a good chance to make a lot of inside jokes, and it would have correlated with how we normally do the show because I'm pro heel most of the time, and it's not like just by like happenstance. It's just because it's like no, literally like, and usually more invested in like the heel personas than I am in the baby faces. So it would have been really
that explains a lot.
It would have been really funny to me if I had given you a letter and because I pictured you doing it like in your voice with your mannerisms, and would have been like, "Dear Lance, I follow you on Instagram, but you can follow me back at any time at the Smash Simmons. Ha ha ha." He said ha 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 twice. That's how I imagined it after I told you. But I'm glad that you got the question.
We had limited time, so I didn't go that extravagant. I did attribute to you and your warped ways. I did use, Cavalcade of Culinary Exploration.
That's a really good one.
That I did. There you go.
Would have just foregone the hot dogs and just eating the peanut butter. Honestly,
I did promise to buy sushi if he and I get to go to sushi.
Whoa.
Either here in Austin or up in Dallas Fort Worth.
And hopefully you got a bonus because I mean that guy's like 6'8".
He can put away some sushi. I've seen the pictures. So.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that you don't go on the light plate either when it comes to the sushi bar.
I do 2 or 3 rolls. After that, I'm done.
Oh, I know, but you're really there for the tempura.
No, not really. Not really. I mean, I like tempura, but
I'm not really a big fried person either. But the sushi is usually my thing.
So anyway, so that segment is in the can. So we will simply do the AEW Double or Nothing preview. We'll also talk a little bit on WWE's announcement that they are returning to the road, as well as what broke today. Adnan Virk and WWE agree mutually to part ways. I wonder how mutual it was.
I don't mean to laugh at like anybody getting fired or anything like that. It was just like kind of saw this one coming.
Yeah, we saw it. We'll talk about it in the last segment. So we're going to start in the middle of the show. That means I got to mute you on Twitch and YouTube. So forgive me as I bring this closer to me. All right, so here we go. Sports guys talking wrestling on the horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. How are you?
Live and in color.
Live and in color. Again, huge thanks to Lance Archer for joining us. What did you think? You had the question about the tuna fish and the peanut butter. What did you think of his answer that it was basically just out of or hot dogs? It was out of necessity because he didn't have any tuna fish.
You know, some people are just built different.
And
apparently his taste buds are built way different than mine.
It's not only his taste buds, man, and believe me, he's a good friend of ours. So,
but it is an extraordinary,
it is
cavalcade of culinary exploration right there.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, absolutely. And you heard him say there at the end, Aew Dynamite is on Friday night this week. We get to talk about it, which is great. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. They're just setting up for Double or Nothing. But it will be live Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on TNT. And that is due to the NBA playoffs. On Wednesday, TNT showing in the first round Eastern Conference, Hawks and Knicks. Hawks lead that series 1-0 right now. And then the Western Conference first round, the Memphis Grizzlies at the Utah Jazz. Grizzlies lead that series 1-0.
Oh, you want to talk about juicy storylines, man? You should talk about the NBA playoffs.
There you go. I'm not that well versed in the NBA, so we'll leave that to Brad Kellner and the boys.
This is where Brad would get along with me. Let's go Mavs.
Yeah, BK will be all over that. So, so let's look at AEW Double or Nothing. It is this Sunday, which is a bit of a departure from what they usually do. They usually do Saturdays, but no, this time it's on Sunday.
Does that mean anything to you? Like, does it feel?
I forget. There was something about. I think it had something to do. It may have had something to do with the playoffs.
I'm sure, but I mean, like, for you as a wrestling fan, does it mean any different for a pay-per-view to be on a Saturday as opposed to a Sunday?
Not
Sunday,
really.
You know, usually
We're
traditional.
We're used to Sunday, but not really.
Okay,
you know.
Just asking. You never know how people's tastes change over
Ring
the
of
years.
Honor does pay-per-views on Fridays, so you know. Anyway, it'll take place Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Bleacher Report Live. If you're here in the United States, if you're outside the United States, get it on Fight TV. And it will come from a fully seated Daily's Place.
Nice.
They're in Jacksonville, Florida. They are going 100% capacity, so they are expecting a huge crowd there. We mentioned Friday Night Dynamite. They will announce on that show what the buy-in pre-show match will be. We have not heard. I have no clue, but we will find out Friday night, along with some other things.
You think it's going to be a more established name, or possibly somebody that we never heard from of before?
Oh, it'll be one of the other feuds that's not being featured on the pay-per-view.
Okay. That
we haven't seen. It could be something along the lines of maybe Dark Order versus the Hardy Family Office or something like that. You know, I think I could see something like that. You know, maybe Butcher and Blade taking on
3 of them at the same time.
I could see that as well. So I could see somebody, and a lot of it's going to, because you know, there's also the Casino Battle Royale. So it's going to probably be somebody that's not involved with that.
Or watch it be the special entrance of the Casino Battle Royale in that match too.
Well, so the Casino Battle Royale, the winner will get an AEW World Title shot. The participants so far, actually these are all of them except for one. Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, Preston Vance, number 10 from the Dark Order, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy from Private Party, Penta El Cerro Miedo, The Blade, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, QT Marshall, Lee Johnson, Dustin Rhodes, Nick Camarado, and the Joker. We don't know who that Joker is. There is a possible clue, because they are also touting that Paul White will be on commentary for this match. Could we see Paul White become the Joker? It wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility.
But Would you be let down if he was the Joker, though? Because they built this up so much, and we've seen him already, and we know what he's capable of.
They said that they said when he joined AEW after he left WWE, they said that he will see some ring time.
Okay.
So
I mean, this would be his type of match.
Sure.
I mean, this is a giant special.
Yes. Yeah.
Of any proportionate giants, this is what they dominate. Are usually battle royals.
Now, if it's not, then of course the field's wide open. Could we see usually they will save this for a surprise, possibly somebody that we haven't seen in AEW before. Now, it could be any one of a number of wrestlers from New Japan, Impact Wrestling, AAA. There was the talk of Andrade, since now he's going to be wrestling for AAA.
Well,
maybe he makes a stopover.
Yeah, that's what you assume. I think most fans would, and that's probably the most safe assumption, is that it would be a departing name from WWE from the last round of cuts. Maybe somebody like a Samoa Joe, if it was possible.
Samoa Joe's a possibility. You're absolutely right. There's also, of course, and I hate to put voice to it because I am 98% sure this is not going to happen. But the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
No.
FKA Daniel Bryan. I don't believe for 1 second that's going to happen.
Me neither.
But he is free to do it. And he has said that he wants to go wrestle in other promotions and wrestle other people. So I saw a video where our good friend Simon Miller from What Culture Wrestling laid out the case for Daniel Bryan showing up as the Joker. Again, don't hold your breath. Really don't. I definitely could see a Samoa Joe. I could see Andrade. I could see Tanahashi.
My question is, wouldn't you feel that the Joker would have to be the person that wins this contest, though, because it's such a big stage to debut?
Kind of, because that's what they did with Brian Cage.
Right.
So,
that's why I'm like, okay, so they're pretty much like, if you had to pick a favorite, the Joker would be automatically one, no matter who it is.
That's who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the favorite, the Joker.
And I didn't want to take too much of the time, but I just wanted to break down a couple of big names here. So Preston Vance, everybody's saying like he's going to be a big deal in the next year or two.
Number 10.
And this would be a good way to prove that, hey, they're really as supportive of his upside as they say they are. Would be a victory here, right?
Yeah.
And then you always have the old dog, the fight in the old dog left, like a Dustin Rhodes. Like, he's getting a nice little push.
We're going to be rooting for him.
He's been getting a nice little push on social media. I see a lot more people talking about him. Makes me think that, oh, hey, this might be his opportunity.
It's possible.
And then, of course, you have
You never doubt him.
Yeah, and you also have the remnants of Dark Side of the Ring, so maybe a Brian Pillman Jr.
Could be.
A feel-good story.
There's a lot of different stories. We'll have to see. I'm still going to go with the Joker. So we got to get through these quick because we're quickly running out of time in this segment. All right, so let's start with, for one night only, the American Dream, Cody Rhodes, taking on Anthony Ogogo. Here's my one problem with Anthony Ogogo. I like the look. I like the punch is cool. The problem is that's all he's shown is a punch. I don't think he's even done a body slam yet on TV.
Well, it seems that they feel confident that they can find a way to work around maybe some of the shortcomings or some of the greenness that he may have.
But I mean, being that green, were they that desperate to put him on TV?
They must like something about him very much. My thing is, I'll be disappointed if Cody doesn't go full wardrobe as American Dream. I'm talking about short trunks, maybe some polka dot, definitely a towel.
I have a feeling he will.
Yeah, I got maybe a dusty
He's got
jacket.
The boots. He's got the boots.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping to see him take it the full like old school Dusty Mile on this.
Yeah. Just for that reason, I'm picking Cody.
Yeah, if he's using that name, I don't see him losing.
You're not gonna sully Dusty's moniker with that. Hangman Adam Page taking on Brian Cage, the FTW World Champion representing Team Taz. Does Page get the win back? Remember, that knocked him out of the number 1 spot in the rankings.
Yeah, I think it does get Page the win back because, again, he's another one of those guys that seems primed to take the AEW title at some point. I just want to circumvent really quick because you made a really good point.
What's that?
When you said using the American Dream name like he wouldn't lose. I was like, and we were talking about how Ogogo is put into this match. Dusty was always the one that had the eye for talent. So maybe, this is all part of the universal plan.
I get that. In a tag team match, All Ego Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky team up to take on Darby Allin and the Icon.
Now this is a regular match.
This is going to be a live match. This is not cinematic. Sting will be in the ring. First time in 6 years. I believe the last time would have been when he was in the ring with Seth Rollins.
A little concerned, but I mean, if he's going to have to be in the ring, I mean, going against a veteran like Scorpio Sky and a trusted hand like Ethan Page, somebody that really loves his craft, those were the people I would trust him, and I hope that he doesn't put himself in any real big harm.
Yeah. I've been going baby faces. I don't want to go. I'm sorry. No, I can't go against Sting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, you can't go against Sting.
I can't. Sky, I love you. You hurt him. You're going to have to answer to me. All right? Just saying. But yeah, I'm going to go Sting and Darby.
And isn't that crazy? It's kind of like you guys hurt Sting and they riot.
Oh,
People
God,
will
yes.
riot. So be careful, y'all.
You may not be able to make it out of Jacksonville. Miro, we had Lance Archer on. He will challenge Miro for the TNT title. Again, I think Wisdom. By the way, we've got odds on these. Miro is overwhelmingly favored, as is Sting and Darby Allin in that match. Cody Rhodes is actually the underdog in his match, and Adam Page is favored. Just because I know Lance, and we love Lance, I'm going to go Lance. It's again.
Extraordinary cavalcade of culinary execution and excellence.
Let's hope those hot dogs help him.
Exactly. Peanut butter and hot dogs for the win.
You going Lance or Miro?
Yeah, because it just seems to me, even though they just gave Miro the title,
they don't do hot shot titles, but
I think this is the time.
It could be. All right, so we'll both go Lance.
And
I'm still going to buy you sushi, Lance, nevertheless.
But that was still before we even had the interview with Lance.
Yes. Hikaru Shira defending the AEW Women's World Championship. She has now been champion for over a year. She will defend it against Britt Baker, DMD.
I guess it's time to make the switch now. Because if you don't, when do you do it? Especially when she's so over.
Yeah, it's Britt. It's Britt on this one. For the AEW World Tag Team titles, you got the Young Bucks defending against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. He of the thieved Jordan Dior's.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that they feel that Kingston and Moxley are going to win this one, but I don't know. I just really feel that the Young Bucks are going to retain.
Odds are even right now.
It just seems like the Young Bucks have a longer run within them because they waited so long to get the titles in their own promotion.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way too. I think Moxley and Kingston, first of all, as a tag team, just all the other stuff that they've been doing has been fantastic. So I would love to see them as tag champs.
But may I ask, does it feel like, do they feel thrown together, or are they a thrown together tag team?
No, because they
or is it because they acknowledge the history?
They did what? Yes, that's exactly it. WWE does not do that because usually there is no history. AEW acknowledged the long-standing friendship and how they've worked together on the indies and all that good stuff. They did that when they were fighting each other, so kind of made sense. In the Stadium Stampede match, Pinnacle, Inner Circle. Inner Circle lost the last time they did this match. I don't see them going 0-2 in Stadium Stampede. Ooh. You're not going to because remember the stipulation is if Inner Circle loses, they break up forever.
Yeah, I know.
You're not going to break.
You don't think so?
No, I'm going Inner Circle.
Man, this would really make MJF a huge star if he's the one that breaks him up.
I think he would, and I think there is a case for that. But you're not going to have the Inner Circle go 0-2. I don't think.
I think so. The Pinnacle wins. MJF is just too good right now. He ain't losing.
And again, that right now the betting odds from BetOnline.ag, they're even. It's a pick 'em. So you're going Pinnacle.
Yeah.
That's the only difference we got so far. So
okay. It's hard for me to pick against Les Champions, but everybody's time eventually comes to an end.
And triple threat for the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega, Pac, and Orange Cassidy.
Man, let me be honest. I'm kind of upset that this is the main event of the card, just because we already know who's going to win.
Yeah.
And I know that the performances should be great, if not outstanding, but Kenny Omega's not going to lose.
No, he's not. At least not right now.
So for me,
not against these two.
as a wrestling fan in general, it's just a little anticlimactic.
Well, maybe they do the Stadium Stampede as the main event, just like they did with Blood and Guts the other night. You know,
it just kind of feels like, hey, come and watch Kenny Omega in an exhibition against two really good athletic guys.
Yeah.
That can match him for speed, because then you'll get the best out of Omega, because then he can get all his stuff in.
That's AEW Double or Nothing this Saturday on Bleacher Report Live in the U.S. and Fight TV. They will do a countdown special Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central on TNT. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the area, plus a couple of notes from WWE. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. All right, so we're going a little over, but that's okay. This one will be short. Yeah, I'm with you, and I think the Stadium Stampede will be last.
You think so?
Yeah.
I guess it would take more time to set up. Or is it one of these things that?
Well, remember, it's Stadium Stampede, so they're going to be set up in the stadium, not just
Yeah.
And now, last year it was pre-taped too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to pre-tape this one or not.
That's what I was going to ask.
Especially with Daly's Place going to be being full. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Now, I understand that a predominantly pro AEW fan is more akin to certain things than maybe a more traditional WWE fan. Like, they might be more open to certain things, but are wrestling fans, regardless of where their allegiances lie, as a wrestling fan, are you open to going to an event just to watch another event on screen? I understand during the pandemic, some things had to be altered.
Right.
But, like, for me, and just speaking from my point of view, like, if I'm going to an event, a live event, where I expect to watch live wrestling, I do not want to be sitting there being forced to look at a screen for 20, 25 minutes. That I feel like, oh, well, then why did I pay to watch this? I get the atmosphere, but again,
I'm leaning that way. I'm wondering if what we have seen with the pandemic maybe has conditioned fans to at least let one match, do that. I don't know. That's gonna be something interesting to find out on Sunday night, how the fans there in Jacksonville will react if it is well, I mean, they're gonna have to watch on the TV, on the screen anyway, because the match will take place inside TIAA Bank Field.
Yeah,
so it's not so they won't be able to see it in front of them because it's not happening in Daly's Place.
Yeah, so again, it feels like a little mini movie in the era of where it's not really necessary anymore if you have live fans. Like,
well, but again, this is again, remember, we are not. It's not like this is the first event with this, and this isn't like, they've allowed it to happen. By the way, we're watching NXT. Oh, and DiBiase doesn't have the $1 million belt with him. No, that was the rumor. He was going to bring the belt.
He still might, but
I hope so.
But this had been one of the more interesting storylines for me on NXT. So, like, what's the deal with Cameron Grimes? Like, who was he before again?
Okay, so let's see.
He comes from.
He was in TNA.
Yeah, but he was like some weird character in TNA, right?
Well, he was like
a North Carolina came-in or something like that.
Yeah. So he came in. And he was basically just that same character, just amped up. But now he came into money because he did the whole stunk market.
Okay.
The whole thing with GameStop
Stonks,
and everything. Yeah. And ended up with a bunch of money. So they decided to do this little face-off with him and Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
Which has been hilarious for me.
The dastardly leader of the Rat Pack, as I know him.
The former WWF North American Heavyweight Champion.
Yes. As well as Mid-South.
The first one.
As well as the Mid-South North American Champion. And Mid-South Tag Champs with Dr. Death Steve Williams, the late great. So
he looks to be in good shape.
He's taking good care of himself. I mean, he's been out on the road. He does a lot of preaching. has a ministry that he runs. His son, Ted DiBiase Jr., the last person to hold the $1 million belt, helped him with that as well. So it's good to see him, though. Yeah, we may have to pull that interview out maybe the week we're off. So
that's right. Forgot about that interview.
That was good. It was a good one to. I really enjoyed talking to him, yeah. I had, before we go to the third segment, so you know who Rob Moore is. Been voiced Texas wrestling for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I see him all the time at independent shows, especially up in the DFW area. He posted on, I think it was Facebook, posted some pictures from a Mid-South card in 86 in Longview. Take one wild guess who was in attendance at that Mid-South card in Longview in 1986.
I'm assuming their name might have been Greg.
I bet you there wasn't right there.
I'm sure there had to be at least one, right?
It was also a young 17-year-old Glaywater High School senior named Stu Myrick that was in attendance. And it was so funny. He posted a picture of Terry Taylor. And that's when I figured it out. Yes, that's it, because I remember the shirt. Nice. I've got a picture somewhere in one of my boxes of Terry Taylor from that night.
Did you ever have
first night I saw the Blade Runners?
Oh, Rock and Sting?
Yeah.
Or what were they going by then?
It wasn't
Rock
Sting
and something.
Yeah, I forget who was which one, but yeah, the man now known as the Icon Sting. Saw the Sheep Herders that night. Not the Bushwhackers.
I know. We're having, what sounds almost like, I don't know, they're both kind of silly names to me, but yeah, Sheep Herders are much tougher.
They were very, much, much tougher. They did, I saw barbed wire. That was the first time I saw a barbed wire match.
Wow.
Was them and, was it the Fantastics?
Really? The Fantastics?
No.
Those Pretty Boys?
No, it may have been DiBiase and Williams. I'll have to look.
That would have been cool.
Oh, here comes LA Knight.
Oh yeah, you might as well just turn it up.
We got to have some LA Knight. Here we go. Hey, the man formerly known as Eli Drake.
Dummy, yeah. Let me talk to you.
That's right. Yeah, we'll try to turn this up where we can hear it, but there we go. There we go. We got it.
Let me talk to you.
Oh, that's fantastic. Have you seen the car parts commercial where Flair chops him?
Yeah.
And then they had another one with Pretty Peter Avalon.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, we know those guys.
I'm glad that people are getting paid.
Yeah, it's awesome. So maybe this is going to lay out a rivalry between him and Cameron Grimes. That'd be cool.
So can you imagine?
And DiBiase becomes Grimes' manager.
Or vice versa.
He was the manager the advocate, I guess, for the NWO.
Yeah.
Early on.
Well, at the very beginning. Because he was supposed to be storyline, the one funding the NWO.
He was he was the money.
Which was actually a really good storyline, concept.
In fact, he was there before Sean Waltman.
Yes. That's why I feel like, they didn't induct him twice.
So good. So good. So, all right, let's get this. We got to get to Mavs, and who are they playing tonight?
They play the Clippers, but we're still on.
We're out of 5? Okay.
But I was going to say, do you want to count this as the podcast segment because Raw was just really, really bad?
Well, it's going on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube and Twitch, including Eric Burns. So, that's we always do. I don't do the podcast segment on the podcast. I just leave it on YouTube and Twitch. So,
but I'm saying, does this time count as that? Because I'm
Sure.
just saying, Raw was bad.
Oh yeah, Raw was horrendous.
But they have a lot of people out apparently.
And see that, I guess that's got to be the only that's got to be the explanation. And I'm trying. Is COVID that bad with the WWE roster that they got so many people out? Because it was basically a rerun of last week's show.
Yeah, pretty much match for match.
I mean,
And I get tired of them burning the Asuka Charlotte match because I'm like, those used to be special. Those were like, oh, you got the two badasses of the women's division facing off against each other. And now we're getting that every week. And don't get me wrong. I mean, they're good hands. Obviously, they're going to perform. But it's just like we're getting like house short performances now.
I know.
For
awful.
Raw.
It's awful.
And it's been like, I can defend a lot, because Vince pays me decently. But, there's just some stuff where I'm like, you read some of the reports that you don't know how factual everything is. But from what we see on TV, it does seem like it, where it's like, this stuff looks like it was rewritten 45, 30 minutes right before it went on air.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Every report I see, whether it's Wrestling Observer or Sean Ross Sapp or the guys at Wrestling Inc. or whatever, that's been the call, is that they rewrite. Vince rips up the show, rewrites it, and you don't have a show until an hour or two before airtime. So
yeah, it just really seems really strange to have your best wrestler in AJ Styles stuck in a tag team with somebody
and getting pinned by. Who do you got pinned? Jackson Riker.
Yeah, like against a jobber tag team, essentially, right?
Basically, I mean, just so it's so maybe DiBiase's walking out with LA Knight. All right, interesting.
Definitely got some wheels, though. I mean, this should be a good feud. Are they getting ready for NXT In Your House Takeover or what?
Yeah, they've got In Your House Takeover June.
11th,
12th.
Is Todd Pettengill supposed to be back?
Yes, that's when Todd Pettingill's coming back. So
we got to request an interview with Todd Pettengill. We have to find a way. I need to talk to Todd Pettengill. He's like my idol.
Maybe we could do that through the radio, because he's a fellow radio guy.
I hope that one would really make my inner child, because he was like, that was the guy I watched introducing the Slammies, and that guy could sell anything. He was so good. That's definitely underrated.
Frankie Monet making her debut.
Oh, is this her debut match here in WWE?
In NXT, that's right. The longest reigning Impact Knockouts champion.
Oh, that is right.
A former AAA, what do they call it? Their women's championship.
I don't know what they call it, but yes, I know
she held that one.
She held their title.
So anyway, all right, let's do this.
But
again, we got to mute momentarily. But you were going to say something?
Yeah, just like, are you excited about the heavyweight picture, the Universal title picture in WWE? Because right now it's like Kofi going against Drew McIntyre.
I am,
and it's cool to see Kofi like in the main event without having
I just hope it's not. We don't end up with another triple threat.
Well, exactly that's what's going to happen.
Then I won't be excited.
But no, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless, would you be happy with like a Kofi, Bobby Lashley SummerSlam main event?
Sure. Absolutely. So, all right, let's do this. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the horn. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons. Sam will be part of that Stadium Stampede again.
Man, I'm just sad that he has to lose.
I got to thinking. I mean, I guess it's possible. I don't want to see him break up, but that's.
But that's the lifespan of pro wrestling. The young guns are supposed to take flight, and the guys like Jericho kind of go away for a little bit to reinvent to come back later.
I know, but I just like seeing Jericho. We got a couple cards to tell you about this week in independent wrestling. We will start with DFW All Pro Wrestling. They are doing a show tribute to Jazz, who's retiring. In fact, it's called Thank You Jazz, Friday. Wow. American Legion Post, 655 in Haltom City. Bell time, 7:30 p.m. Jazz will be in action, along with her husband, Rodney Mack, Holiday, Killer Kate, Erica Torres, and more. That's DFWL Pro Wrestling this Friday in Haltom City. And New Texas Pro Wrestling presents Bomaye Saturday at the Houston Premier Arena. Bell time 7 p.m. It is BYOB. There you go. Gino Medina, Chris Bay, Mysterious Q, Roxy, Fuego del Sol, and more. That's New Texas Pro Wrestling this Saturday in H-Town. And that's a look at independent wrestling around the area. Make sure you adhere to protocols if they're still holding them. But, hey, go out and support some independent wrestling.
Wow, Jazz is really one of those performers that doesn't really get enough credit at the peak of the Attitude Era, where she was really legitimizing women's wrestling in WWE between those matches like her, Trish Stratus, Lita,
Yes.
when they were all vying for the title.
Yes. Long before the women's evolution was even thought about.
Jacqueline, yeah, all those ladies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations to her for calling it a career.
Of course, her and Rodney run the Dog Pound Dojo in San Antonio with Thunder Rosa, doing a great job training individuals there to go into wrestling. As we mentioned, a couple notes from WWE. First of all, the news came down. Adnan Virk and WWE agreed to mutually part ways. I'm wondering how mutual. I hate to see this because I like Adnan Virk. I've mentioned many times I enjoyed his work on ESPN. This just seemed like it was, I don't know that it wasn't a match, but, it was taking him a while, quite frankly.
I was just starting to get adjusted to his style and like the way that he was doing pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much longer it was going to take him for him to feel comfortable in the role. And as a broadcaster, I mean, I understand from what I've heard from people that have worked in WWE, it's just a different game.
It is a different game. We all know how hard it is to call wrestling live.
Yeah,
especially if you're not used to it.
But wrestling live with a producer in your ear that happens to be the boss
yeah.
that wants you to get certain things across while you're
And
trying
you have to say certain things.
But while you're also trying to kind of listen into what your coworkers are saying and try to fit them in seamlessly into the conversation while carry the storyline and tell you what's going on in the ring, it's difficult.
Adnan did post to his Twitter account at Adnan's Virk. Thanks to WWE for a wonderful opportunity. The weekly travel, along with my other jobs, was a grind for me and my family. I'm grateful to everyone with the company, especially at WWE Graves and Byron Saxton, for being such fantastic teammates.
But I am interested, I would love to hear from his side of the story. What really got you interested in the job in the first place? Was it just somebody reached out to you and it was a good offer and you couldn't refuse the money? I mean, that's understandable. Nothing wrong with that. Or
you
was
wanted
it
to try something?
Or were you like a closeted WWE fan this entire time, and this was one of those things that you always wanted to do?
That's I'd like to find that out.
You don't have to know all the moves to be a pro wrestling fan.
No, you don't, or even be a commentator. But that's where you lean on your teammates. Corey Graves, Byron Saxton. So anyway, we know Adnan will. I think isn't he still working for MLB Network?
Oh, he'll still do his regular gigs.
So he'll do all those gigs. You'll see him everywhere.
But the question remains is who's the one that fills the seat?
Do they
WWE. Can I put my hand up out there? I'm 5'7".
I mean,
Just
I
saying.
could see where they bring back Tom Phillips.
I think that's what everybody would like to see more often because he was doing well.
Yeah, he was fine. He did fine. Also, WWE has announced they are returning to the road right after AEW made that announcement. 25-city tour. It will run through Labor Day. And just like AEW, they're going to start here in the great Lone Star State of Texas. Friday, July 16th, SmackDown will be at the Toyota Center in Houston. Sunday, July 18th, Money in the Bank from Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. And then Monday night, July 19th, Monday Night Raw at the AAC in Dallas. So tickets go on sale this week. If you're listening to us on the Horn, they're on sale now. Additional tour stops and on-sale dates will be announced in the coming weeks.
I mean, obviously, SmackDown, Money in the Bank seem like must-get tickets, but Raw, with the way it's been as of late, I'm not sure if they're even going to come close to selling even 8,000 seats in the AAC.
They may have a smaller crowd than G1 did.
Oh, easily right now.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, it just hasn't been that good.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. That'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter at SGTWATX. Oh, by the way, that's our Twitch channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can catch us streaming live Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube and Twitch. Or you can catch us Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns, The Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM, AM 1260. You can also catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On-Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Big thanks to Lance Archer for joining us, and big thanks to you for giving us a little bit of your time tonight. For Justin, I'm Stu. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. For those of you on Twitch and YouTube, this show will air at 9 o'clock tomorrow night instead of 8 because of Texas baseball, Big 12 playoffs. I forget who they're. I want to say it's West Virginia. They got tomorrow.
Man, we need to get a better agent. Like, Texas baseball should be implemented for us.
When you're the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns, Longhorns take precedence over everything. So fight night at 8, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling at 9. Let's see. Wednesday, 4 p.m.
Is she wrestling a jobber?
Oh, they will face. Okay, so they will face the winner of tonight's matchup between West Virginia and Kansas. Texas, the number 1 seed in the Big 12 Conference tournament. So
I was going to say, I thought WWE said no more leg slaps.
yeah, well, you know,
Just joking.
some hard habits are hard to break. Yeah, who is this she's wrestling?
That's why I was asking. It's like, oh, is this just a straight up jobber? Or is she somebody that I just haven't seen yet?
Probably, I would assume, Performance Center trainee. For a second, I thought it was Priscilla Kelly, but it's not her. Priscilla Kelly's a little shorter. Huh?
I mean, she got part of that Russian leg sweep down. Ooh, that part looked like it hurt though.
Well, and that's one of the things with I still want to call Taya Valkyrie. She's she's a sturdy gal.
I was gonna say she's powerful.
Yeah,
that's for
she's
sure.
got some power. So
that's right. She's trained all over the world. So
yes, she has. Everywhere. And that's her usual finisher. So there we go.
What would you say that is?
Frankie Monet. I forget what they call it.
Is that a gory special? No, sorry. Gory special is completely different.
Yeah. I was going to say, you'd know better than I do. That's why I do color. But anyway, hey, Frankie Monet gets her victory number 1 in WWE NXT. So congratulations to her.
Well, it seems like WWE could use some more women wrestlers at the top. So you would figure that if anybody was going to be fast-tracked to the main roster, it'd be somebody like her. Just to kind of fill the spot and just have another steady hand.
Yes, yeah. They need to bolster both the Raw and SmackDown women's rosters desperately. But we've been saying that for months now.
I know, but like it's just become really apparent over the last couple of weeks as like, hey, where is the rest of the women's division? Because it used to be somewhat strong.
But it was just at the top. They didn't. And that's been the problem. They haven't had. And it's not. It's definitely a matter of quantity right now.
Well, I mean, I'll give them credit for the Natalya Tamina title switch and giving them the belts because it really seemed that the fans wanted it, and that's they never give the fans what they want, but they did. They made an exception, and it's been interesting. It's something new. It was fresh, so I didn't mind.
Plus, Plus, we had the fire to Reginald because of.
Is Reginald?
By the way, our hearts go out to Alexa Bliss. Her pet pig died. So, I asked her about that when I got to talk to her, and that's one of her that was one of her things that you people call them fur babies, and the pig was her fur baby. Didn't have a lot of fur on it, but still. So you got to feel for her and Ryan to
obviously
lose their pet,
and I think that's why we didn't see her last night.
Yeah.
Or you would think that she'd be taking at least a little time off, and I wouldn't blame her for that at all. I mean, hopefully,
absolutely,
it's going to take a little while.
There you go, Kushida, Cruiserweight champion, with Bronson Reed, the North American champion.
But you think about, I mean, you're still waiting for Becky Lynch to return at some point.
Yeah.
Because right now it seems like that would be an ideal situation for WWE, because there's like instantaneously, shot right into the veins of electricity.
Maybe they save her return for the road.
That's what it would seem.
Because from what, if you believe the rumor in innuendo, knows who else we haven't seen in a while? Sasha Banks.
That is true.
Apparently they're saving her and Edge for when they get back on the road.
I was gonna say I forgot about Sasha, and I was like, man, that's right. She had just won the championship, but then she just did the favors for Bianca Belair, which is great though, because I mean Belair, we needed more variation at the top of the women's title.
Yep.
Scene, and I'm glad that she is getting her run, because she had seemed the most prime coming out of NXT to be like the next real big thing.
That's true.
That's
true. So,
but it does make you does it make you wonder though, like where somebody like Naomi or Carmella, like where they kind of fit in, and what about this whole evolution thing? It's like, oh man, it kind of feels like this Tenille Dashwood thing where we are just getting like promos, but
it feels almost exactly like Tenille Dashwood.
What was her name?
Emma.
There you go, Emmalina.
And
then back to Emma.
Feels exactly like that.
Man, they destroyed that woman's career. I feel so bad.
Here's the difference. Emma was a better wrestler.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, but she had something going until the gimmick changed.
All you gotta do is watch her on Impact. See, yeah. So it's. But I hate to say this because I'm sure she's a fine individual, but I don't know of anybody that was clamoring, that was saying, I wish Eva Marie would come back to WWE.
that was unexpected, but I was trying to run with it because I was like, well, it's new to me, kind of, sort of. But I was like, ooh, now she's back with pink hair.
Just because it's new. Look, Coke figured this out a long time ago. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's better.
No, but they also figured out how to make more money off of their misstep, and that's what we have to figure out if WWE is capable of, because they were like, yeah, new Coke was so bad, we're going to market classic Coke back at you twice the price.
and
people paid.
New Coke went away. So.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's just...
But they still have Tab.
Do they?
Yes, they still make Tab.
I haven't seen a Tab in forever.
You can find it at your HEB.
Really?
Yeah. And there's also like a Tab energy drink.
Yeah, I don't do energy drinks.
But I don't do those either, man.
Those tear me up.
Isn't it weird? Like, I don't know when that started becoming a thing.
What's that?
Like energy drinks in general, because like one day, I grew up in
late 90s, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's when I was going to high school and college, and it's like I don't really recall people just chugging Red Bulls until like maybe a little bit after college, where it was like Monster got real popular. And then, like, you see everybody.
Well, back then it was all the different flavors of Mountain Dew. That was kind of like the energy drink before Red Bull and Monster and.
I suppose, but I'm just like I was never really my thing. I was always a Gatorade person.
Me neither.
But
I mean, I never really did Red Bull. I would drink a Monster every now and again. That was when X Games was here. Monster was one of their primary sponsors, we had coolers of Monster in the media center.
But I'm just like, oh man, it's just like that's too much, like sugar and caffeine. But like all these wrestlers that are like chugging Bang and stuff like that, I'm just like, dude, how does your liver feel? Like I understand,
Guevara.
Like I understand, I drink alcohol,
it like water.
But yeah, but I was gonna say like these guys are drinking like
they're not gonna have stomach lining left.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm like, who knows how, like, oh man, it's just like, I understand that, it helps gets them up for their workouts and stuff like that. But I'm just all like, I just don't know. I just don't know when it became a thing.
Here's a good question. So Alexander Wolf has been cut.
Yeah, that's why.
So do we see a new fourth member of Imperium?
It's really tough to say.
And why is it Killian Dane?
Why is it Killian Dane? I don't know, man. It might not be him. You would think it would make sense. Give him something to do. And it's funny that you say that because this is him, right, coming out?
No, that's Bronson.
Oh, this Bronson? Okay.
That's Bronson Reed.
Oh, they look
because that's what they just that was when they went to commercial with him, greeting Kushida.
So where did this Bronson Reed fella come from?
He's Australian. I know that. Apparently, he's been on the Indies.
Okay.
Because they said this was like 14 years in the business.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
By the way, you notice I played Rocky Romero for one of the rejoins?
Yes.
Because he was on AEW Dark Elevation.
As like a wrestler?
Yes. He wrestled.
Nice.
He's still with New Japan.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the stuff with New Japan Strong out of the LA dojo. So they had him at Dynamite last week. Had him wrestle JD Drake on Elevation. He wins, and then JD Drake and the Wingmen, Ryan Nemeth and Cesar Bononi, attack him. Here comes the best friends
Nice.
to save Rocky, and we get, at least for one moment, the reunion of Roppongi Vice.
That is so awesome.
They even played.
They play the theme?
They played the Roppongi Vice theme.
Yes, they had
I was like, that just made my day.
That's just pure.
I was fantastic, and we got to work with Roppongi Vice when they would come to Russell Circus. Got to know those guys. Just
but Roppongi
two swell guys.
The tactic. Oh man, it was just always a great team. Always a fun team to watch.
Multiple time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Champions.
So it's really see, this is what's cool about pro wrestling. Like, you can't always do this in other sports. It's like once you retire, once you move on, you're usually gone. But in pro wrestling, you can usually bring it back for at least a night.
I would love to see them
on a regular basis.
I'd love to see, or at least on occasion. Now, yeah, as I mentioned, Rocky's still under contract with New Japan, but hey, Forbidden Door's been blown open, so why not?
I mean, they've already been working together a lot as it is.
Yeah.
So you would think that would make the most sense.
Speaking of seeing people, so Sunday at Circuit of the Americas, they're in the media center watching the last stages of the Cup race. I look over and there's Jason Sehorn standing in the media center.
Yeah.
He was with a group of people. I guess they were trying to take a break from the rain. And it was so funny because I saw him and I knew, I was like, I recognize him. Why do I recognize him? And it was just racking my brain. And finally somebody said, "Oh, that's Jason Sehorn." And I thought, okay, so that's what it is. It was out of context. So I went up to him, chatted with him a little bit. It was good to talk to him.
Is he a pro wrestling fan?
I don't know if he's a pro wrestling fan. I can tell you what he's not a fan of.
NASCAR?
No, not that. The 17th game. He hates the fact that they're doing 17 games in the NFL.
Well, I mean, even I'm not a fan of the 17th game.
I'm not either. There's that whole, especially with, football or with anything, leave them wanting more. And NFL is coming close to not being that way anymore.
I'm just more concerned about their health. And it's like,
yeah, there's that too.
If there's going to be an extra game, I mean, man, like pay.
Yeah.
Pay them more, raise the salary cap, give these guys more money.
Expand the roster.
Yeah, that too. It's just unfair though, because it's like these guys, I mean, what? You take these hits maybe from like middle school all the way through college just to make it pro, and then you're like, if you're lucky, 3-year career, and that doesn't even give you a chance to restructure your contract to where you make the actual money.
That's true.
Because this is just all rookie deal stuff depending on where you're actually drafted.
Yeah.
So if you're drafted, some guys are unlucky, and they make it, but they're undrafted, so they're making, no different than what somebody's selling cars.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, man, these guys deserve more money. And it's like, as a fan, I mean, I want more, but I'm not that greedy,
Yeah, I know. It's, I mean, we'll see what happens. It starts this season, so.
Hey, pulling it back before everything, pro wrestling wise, what's happening with ROH right now? They're getting ready to run here soon.
They've got Best in the World, which is July. I think, now in Baltimore.
And it's
They'll run
gonna
that.
be-
They'll be in front of fans. They're going to do pod seating. I have not seen anything as far as them going on the road.
Okay.
I think for now they are staying in Baltimore. I think they're going to kind of follow what AEW has been doing. It's just, it's a year later. They're taking it even slower. So,
well, it's okay though.
and the same thing with Impact. Impact hasn't done anything in front of fans yet.
Well,
And as far as I know, they haven't announced anything.
but they are still a Canadian company, right? Like they're based
They're
out of
owned
Canada.
yes, because Anthem owns them, just like they own Access TV.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Blue Jays aren't even playing in Canada right now because
That's
it's like
true.
border issues. It's tough to get crossing and stuff like that
Yep,
right now.
because
So
of the protocols and all that good stuff. So yeah,
we'll have to see when even that happens.
yeah. So I think that, Kushida's coming out on this. So you got Legado del Fantasma challenging Bronson Reed, all three of them. Here comes Kushida. Here comes the time splitter. Oh no, it's MSK. It's our guys.
Wow.
Get at them, boys. The
Unex-
NXT Tag Team Champions. There you go.
Unexpected.
And Bronson Reed just bulldozed Santos Escobar.
But I like Escobar. I'm a big fan. His work's been great. This is cool.
But
though.
I'll never root against Dez and
This
Zach.
would be a really good match, a really good 6-man match.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
You wonder why you don't have more trios titles.
I'm not a fan of them, honestly.
I guess, yeah, it's one of those extraneous things, but
But it makes no
it'd be
sense.
fun.
I grew up so close to the border that you would think that I would have like trio matches in my blood.
Well, world class, NWA had them.
I know, but it's
So-
a staple in Mexican wrestling.
It is,
But it's
It
just
is.
like I'm not a big fan of multi-man matches. Like tag team matches, fine, but the triple tag team, trios tag team,
6-man tag.
yeah, I'm not a fan.
I get that.
It's just like it's too many people.
It can be. You gotta do it right. so.
Yeah, a one-on-one match is obviously still my ideal.
Yeah.
Like well done, pace, psychology, all that good old stuff that nobody likes anymore.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna sign
Wait,
off.
Wait. New
What?
Japan? Are they running right now, or is it because like everything's so bad in
Yes,
Tokyo?
Yes,
or-
they are running. Now, did you hear Kazuchika Okada has COVID?
No, did not know that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Which that he was my pick
To win?
to get the belt.
Really?
Now that Will Ospreay's out.
That's right. Osprey's out too.
So I think I saw something. From Wrestling Observer, likely scenario is Takagi versus Tanahashi or something like that.
What? Really?
I think that's. I mean, if anybody, Meltzer and Alvarez and those guys, they cover
Yeah.
Japan like nobody else. I think that's what I saw.
Because Takagi is like really over.
He is.
And
So I'm thinking it could be Takagi versus Tanahashi.
but I was like, I would love to see Tanahashi get like the last run
I would too.
because it's just so poignant that
I
he
would
would be
too.
the guy.
I agree.
Okay, see, I'm glad I asked you about that because I
Yeah.
had no idea what was going on right now.
Yeah.
And now that you mention
But
it,
they
like,
did have a card. They had a card yesterday. I forget where, but they did have one, and I think they're back to running. It's still dicey over there. U.S. has now issued travel advisory.
yeah,
Don't travel to Japan.
Wow.
And we're 2 months, 3 months
away
from the Olympics,
something like that. We're getting ready to send over a bunch of athletes to Tokyo.
and not just athletes. Think
People.
about sports media.
Well, the thing is like, not only that, like for the athletes, like they're only allowed so many people to
Yeah.
go, like only so many members of the family and stuff. So it's like, that's tough, man. And you're trying just to get prepared
It's tough.
mentally, and you're just trying to figure out like, who's Dad, you can go, but Mom, you got to stay home. You know, you've been waiting your whole life for
Yeah,
it.
that's the other. Yeah, you're trying to figure out. You got to figure out health wise who can go.
I will say that at least they still are taking the whole Olympic Village into account. I saw they came out with the official condom for the event.
Very nice.
Comes with the Japanese print on it. I kid you not, Stu. I
There
gotta
you go.
show you
Nice,
this thing.
yeah.
It was really interesting. I was like, wow, well done.
Hey, look,
well done.
when we were in the Army, when we'd go to Korea for exercise, when you sign out to go out on the town, right next to the sign out sheet, box of condoms.
Hey, that's
grab grab a few, put them in your pocket
Hey, it's a smart lesson for everybody to
in
know.
case you get lonely.
Exactly. Very smart lesson.
You don't want things falling off.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. No, you're right. No, I'm not lying. You're right. You're speaking the truth, Stu.
No natural castration.
I know you've been.
Hey, believe me, I've seen some of
Who
those.
wouldn't know? Like you've been Speedway Stu, Sideline Stu, Sex Guru Stu. Wow. I mean,
Let's not
you're
go
all
that
you're
far.
all types of
Let's
Stus.
not go that far.
What do you got planned
All right.
next?
On that note, we are going to sign off before it gets crazier. Thanks for joining us. We will be back next week and do it all over again. We'll recap Double or Nothing plus anything else we come up with.